I just watched the new documentary about Andy Kaufman entitled "Thank You Very Much" by Albert Braverman. I'm sorry, "Thank You Very Much" by Albert Braverman, and it's really good. This is, as I'm recording this, in theaters, but I think it was a very limited theatrical run. We actually wound up watching it, even though I love going to see things in theaters. Circumstance dictated that we did it as a digital rental. Loved it. I'm a fan of Andy Kaufman. I've been a fan of Andy Kaufman since I was a little kid, and the more years have passed and the more I've learned about who he was and what he did, and how much he just loved messing with audiences. It's probably something that's more entertaining if you were not an audience at the time to look back at what he did to people, and how he messed with people's expectations and tested their patience, and all of that is maybe more entertaining at a distance and in clip form. But I've read a couple of books about Kaufman. I've watched other documentaries and things over the years. A lot of his original footage I've watched in films and TV appearances. And so going into this, I'm like, well, I kind of know a lot about this. What new is this going to show me? And the answer is not a lot new to me, but very well presented. Great use of archival footage, great use of playing with the timeline, tons of interviews with people who were close to him. You've got Bob Zmuda, who was his best friend and writer and partner in crime throughout his glory period. You've got Lynne Margulies, who was his girlfriend. You've got a lot of archival interviews with various people who maybe, you got Bud Friedman, who ran the improvisation in New York and LA. You got Danny DeVito, Marilu, Henner. Some of these are new interviews. Some of them are old. Some of them's a mix. Like you get an old Charlie Rose interview with Danny DeVito, but you also get a modern interview with Danny DeVito, who is just wildly entertaining in how perplexed he was looking back at what Kaufman got up to on Taxi, and when he would be like big star on a top TV show, but also intentionally working as a busboy at a deli in LA. Just the nutty things he would do. You get Melanie Chardoff talking about her experiences with him on Fridays and the infamous Fridays fight that broke out in the middle of a sketch. And it pulls back the curtain a little bit, not entirely. Zmuda still likes to try to maintain the whole, maybe he faked his death, maybe he didn't. It's exactly the kind of thing he would do. But otherwise, it doesn't play into the fantasy quite so much as it does just lay out, here are all the crazy things this guy did. And we're going to talk to some people who knew him, who were very close to him, to try to maybe get into who really was Andy Kaufman. Why did he do the things he did? Why did he conduct himself the way he did? It's a very joyous documentary. I was laughing a lot. I mean, a lot of the clips I'd seen before, but there were a few things I did not know and I had not seen that I thought were pretty wonderful. It really touches on just about everything. The only thing I wished was in there was when he did his wrestling thing. Do you know Andy Kaufman? Man in the Moon, maybe a lot of more modern people know that the Jim Carrey film, Milos Forman, the Man in the Moon, that was about Andy Kaufman from that. But he was this guy who was a stand-up comedian who did this foreign man character who just talked like, yes, I'm going to do an impression of the Archie Bunker. Edith, you ding that. He would do things like that and then suddenly say, I will do the Elvis Presley. And then he would do a perfect Elvis thing where you realized that this guy that you had been listening to for the last 10 minutes was not this foreign man and he had been hosing with you. He went into Southern professional wrestling for a while. And if you can find those clips on YouTube, they're pretty hilarious. Lynne Margulies did a great documentary called I'm From Hollywood years ago that was about Andy Kaufman's foray into wrestling. And one of the things the only thing that was really not in this documentary that I wished had been, was this clip where Kaufman he plays the heel. So his whole thing was, I'm this guy from Hollywood and you dumb Southern rednecks don't know squat, and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to wrestle women to prove men are the superior race, and all this stuff to get people angry like a wrestling villain does. And one of the best parts was, he's like, you know what this is? I'm going to show you a little something. I got a tip for you. You see what this is? This is soap. And it was just this horrendously insulting, but intended to just rile people up. It was always an act with him. The various bizarre things he would do, the whole Tony Clifton thing is gotten into, not with a tremendous amount of depth, but it is talked about. Things I've never heard before, like on-set audio from a taping of Taxi where the cast just went in revolt and Judd Hirsch is swearing up a storm saying, you need to get this guy out of here, because he was pretending to be Tony Clifton, this bizarre offensive lounge singer character who was guest starring on the show and couldn't act. There's so much in this documentary. I'm probably just saying bizarre word salad to anybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about, but this is very good. If you can see this in the theater, I highly recommend doing that, to be with an audience of people reacting to this stuff, because it's amazing and wonderful and whimsical and hilarious. It is rather touching. It's very sad that the man died when he did. So much longer ago than he should have. I would love to have had a few more decades of Andy Kaufman just being crazy. And this is a wonderful celebration of the man. So in theaters and streaming, thank you very much.